I don't like that. This is hard.
Like children. No, you had your happy years when you were a toddler, when you got that cardboard box to play with, and you didn't appreciate them and you wasted them, and now they're all gone. You're an adult. All your happiness is gone. You're not allowed any anymore. You are supposed to feel frustrated. You're supposed to feel like there's so much that needs to be done. You're supposed to feel like you could have so much more from your life. You're supposed to feel motivated and on fire. You're supposed to feel lots of things, but not necessarily happy. Because you're sitting there going, why am I not happy? Why am I not satisfied? Why am I so miserable? That's exactly how you're supposed to be. I don't know where anyone got this idea that life was created and God created us all and built this entire world for us to sit here and just smile all day. If you are constantly chasing happiness, you are going to fail. If you're constantly chasing happiness, you're going to end up doing hedonistic, dumb shit. You're going to end up drinking, taking drugs, doing anything it takes to feel happy. If you're constantly chasing respect or importance, perhaps you will have a far more remarkable life filled with achievements. So you have to ask yourself, do you want to be an important man who is respected, or do you want to be happy? And this is a really interesting question. We can talk about this at length. It's kind of interesting because I actually believe that respect is more important than happiness for men. And most men who are happy but not respected, it's temporary dumb shit. But men who are truly respected don't need to chase happiness because when you talk, people listen. How could you be happy as a man if when you say things, nobody listens to you? You say X and your wife ignores you, your kids ignore you, and all the men around you laugh. Oh, sure, you can take some drugs after that to be happy. But are you truly happy in your heart? No, you're going to be happy when you're respected. So stop being obsessed with this idea of happiness. So, happiness is for girls and kids. You're a man. If you don't feel happy, good, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to feel respected. And you're going to do that via competence, masculine achievement, hard work, dedication, and becoming somebody worth respect.
We need discipline. We need purpose. We need to have parameters set for us. And truthfully, as a person, you're happier that way. Will I enjoy having less fun? Will it be fun to have less fun? Okay, that's all fun. But would it be fun to have less fun? And I said, maybe instead of spending all of our money doing this stuff, we should spend all of our money getting very regimented. We should have loads of members of staff, and we should be up at exactly 7:46, and we should have a coffee ready and hot at 7:47. And at 8:01, we should go into the gym, and we should finish at 8:27. And we should have all of it. We should have everything regimented, and we should produce more content than ever before, and become richer than ever before. But just remove the fun and have fun in not having fun and just being monumentally competent and effective. Okay, well, I'll try it. Let me try for 6 months to give up all fun and just be boring. And then I learned some very interesting things during that time. Being exceptionally regimented is fun. I truly enjoy it. I enjoy it just as much as I enjoyed because what would happen before is I'd do all my work and I'd train hard and I was always an effective person. I was still 1,000 times more effective than the average man. And then I would take 6 or 7 hours and drink and smoke and have fun and enjoy the fruits of my labor. I became extremely rich. Why not get on a private jet and have fun? But now instead of spending those 6 hours having fun, I spend those 6 hours continuing to work. And I enjoy it just as much. So now I'm sitting there going, well, I enjoy it just as much and I'm not damaging my health. I enjoy it just as much and I'm making more money. So it really, truly ruins my day when a beautiful girl's like, can I see you? It's like, oh, I've got work to do. I'm regimented. I have to sit here and type. I don't want to talk to you and have fun and party. I don't want to do any of that. I want to do emails. I'm 0% tempted by fun. I don't want to go to clubs. I don't want to go to some party. I'm not interested in traveling. I'm not interested in seeing anything. Like, who cares? I'm above it all. I'm over it all. I want to run my empire and I want to spend time with people I love and I want to beat my brother at Uno and that's it. I truly enjoy just being boring and regimented. And I like getting as much work done as possible.
So from what you've seen, what do the most successful students in the real world have in common? And what do the failing students have in common? What is a specific trait or characteristic that separates these two types of individuals?
It's actually interesting because I can compare this to my webcam days, but it's the same with webcam. It's the same with fighting. It's the same with the real world. Brutal determination and consistency is nearly impossible to beat. Back in the webcam days, I had a girl who was shit. She made no money, but she'd sit there and she'd do 12-hour days and she'd smile and she'd have fun regardless. It's very hard for girls to perform when no one's tipping them, when no one's giving them any money, when their room is empty. To sit there 12 hours and talk to yourself and not get moody is very difficult for a female. This girl, for the first 3 months, she didn't give a shit. She'd sit there with one person in her room and laugh and smile. And guess what she ended up being after 3 months of being nobody? The number one girl. She ended up being the number one, beating the professional girls. Because the professional girls were like, oh, my room's quiet now. And they expect X amount and they expect it to be easy. Same with fighting. I knew people who weren't that talented, but they were just at the gym every day. They just ran further. They just trained harder. And they just ended up being world champions. That's how it gets. You they do need to be the smartest. Oh, what you guys guarantee you, I will guarantee you right now, Q has nothing to do with success to be as a real student. Success you're going to be is there every single day. Are you doing what you're supposed to do day after day? I can also apply this to sales. I knew guys who were terrible with phone. Back in my day, sales used to have to call companies. It was smooth, I was the best. We had some other guys who were smooth. They land the deal, go buy the next car, whatever, take a few days off, take it easy. We had people who were terrible. Terrible. I mean, Indians. They were all
The answer to everything has always been raw action. So when I was broke, I was never like, I'm poor. I'm poor. What do I do? It was, I'm poor. I have to do something. If I was broke, I'd go for a run. That's why I was such a great fighter. If I was broke, I'd sit there and go, I'm actually poor. How do I make money? Don't know. Where can I get some cash? Don't know. What work can I do? Don't know. Oh, I'll just go for a run then. And I just go for 3-mile run. You just have to say, well, I have to do something. I can't just sit still and die. But it's amazing how the compounding interest of just endless raw action adds up. I've never had a lazy day. I've never skipped work, never missed an email, never had a day off, ever. You name if you were to go through the last 3 years of my life, you will see that there's never been a day where I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. And it all just adds up, and then monumental success comes, and you get to laugh at everybody else, ha, 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 and life's great. Everything that happens to you is your fault. Me going to jail was my fault. Me being attacked online was my fault. If all these bad things that happened to me, I will take responsibility for, even if I believe they were unfair or unjust. And I think that any man who's going to sit there and say, I'm struggling, he also needs to wake up and understand that if you're going to truly struggle to not click on a website, then you're going to deserve the terrible life you're going to live. And the devil or the matrix or whatever you want to call them are going to fill your life with temptations. They're going to fill your life with easy way outs that they're going to want you to take, because the good road is usually the hardest road. And if you're going to continue to fall for them, then you're going to have to suffer the consequences of that. So it's double-edged. It's certainly difficult. But to me, what's even more upsetting is that these men don't have enough fortitude and enough mental strength to wake up and say, I'm better than that. But this is the thing, right? So when you attack a man's mental fortitude on one issue, you attack on all issues. This is why it's done purposefully. To resist a slave mind, you need to be able to resist in the first place. How can you resist a slave mind if you have no physicality, you have no willpower, no ability to mentally resist anything? Well, then what you're going to end up doing, you're going to end up eating the bugs and watching the porn and sitting in front of your computer. And that's what they want from the people. So I think that it's actually all very interconnected. People come at me with the porn problem and I get the same thing. Guys say to me all the time, hey, what are you going to do? What should I do? I struggle with pornography. And I say, that's because you have nothing else in your life in order. If you were in good physical condition and you had the money you were supposed to have,
and you had the mentality you were supposed to have, you wouldn't need it. So the reason you're so addicted to porn is because everything else in your life is a failure. It's when men truly wake up and decide to be the best versions of themselves, they're hard to control because all these control mechanisms fall by the wayside. They don't want the porn anymore. They don't want the antidepressants anymore. They don't want the garbage anymore. And now you have a whole bunch of men who actually want truth and honor and respect, and they want to live for something. And then what are they going to live for? They're going to want to be brave. They're going to want to do the right thing, regardless of how dangerous it may be for their own personal circumstance. And that sounds like a difficult population to enslave. I mean, that's what's scary, including discipline, including understanding that in the harsh realities of the real world, there is a line. And if you cross that line, violence appears. That's the unfortunate reality of Earth. There's a line. And if you cross it, violence will appear, either from a cop or from a guy on the street, or from someone you don't like, or even a friend will turn on you, whatever. There's a line that shouldn't be crossed. And I learned that from a very young age, and I'm very thankful for that.
Genuinely ask yourself a question, you at home. If you had done those things for the last 2 years, you never skipped a training, you never wasted time, you never scrolled TikTok, you never sat aimlessly on the internet typing in garbage, never played video games, you never wasted time. You never skipped training. You were training every single day. You never slept in. You were never lazy. There's this version of you. Imagine the person you would be. Genuinely imagine what you would look like. Imagine where you would live. Imagine the car you would drive. Imagine how much your woman would respect you. Imagine the love you would see in her eyes when she looks at you with adoration like a king. Imagine your existence. That person is waiting for you. And the only thing that's stopping you from being that person is your monumental laziness. You can have it. The universe is very giving. It will give you anything you work for. I've never seen somebody try for something with all of their might and not get it. The only people who do not have the things they want are the people who do not try for them. I've never seen a person wake up and say, my only dedication in life is to solve a Rubik's Cube and fail. You are not stupid. You are not incompetent. You are lazy and arrogant. It's extremely important you understand that that person is waiting for you and you are declining that version of yourself. In the multiverse, in the many different versions of the universe that exist, there is a version of you that does those exact things. And he is a greater person than you can even fathom. There's a version of you that never sleeps in, never skips training, never wastes time. There's a version of you who never fails. It is waiting for you. You can transform yourself into that guy. You can be a top G. That's exactly what I did. I knew who I was going to have to end up being before I became that person. My brother and I are not from rich families. We are not from advantaged beginnings. But I knew I had to be a big, strong, fighting billionaire. On your path to greatness, there are going to be long periods of time where you hate what you are doing, where you are dissatisfied with the actions you must undertake, where you are tired, where you are stressed. That is why it is difficult. If the path was easy, everybody would walk it and it would lead nowhere. 100 people start the path. 99 fall off because it is difficult, and the one person who makes it to the end gets the gold. If all 100 made it to the end and the gold was divided by 100, it wouldn't even be worth anything. The difficulty gives it value. The fact that it is difficult to do is the key component into the fact you want it in the first place. It's supposed to be hard. Life is supposed to be hard. You're supposed to think this is terrible. You're supposed to suffer and smile through the pain regardless. Discipline is the key to success in all realms as a man. And if you lack it, you stand no chance. I train every day because it is difficult to train every day. It hurts. I don't want to. I wake up and I'm busy. I have other things to do. I don't feel like doing it. So I force myself to do it 7 days a week, 365 days a year so that I know I'm the kind of person who can do what he doesn't want to do when it needs to be done. I am that man. And it's more of a mental exercise than a physical exercise at this point.
I'm not too big a believer in individualistic regimes or plans. You know, I do press ups, he does press ups. You know, I do running, he does running. Everyone does the same kind of thing. It comes down to the individual. It comes down to the brains of the individual and the attitude of the individual. It comes down to who wants it more. And it comes down to who lands the shot first. That's how it is. So I've trained hard. I'm sure he's trained hard, but I'm ready to fight.